What's up, guys? Look at that. I guess I'm gonna revisit this a bit now. So guys, it's actually been quite a bit of time ever since I built this little thing. This little placeholder. Hopefully by the end of the video we can give it a new name. Placeholder Mark II. Why not? Now, I haven't really done any improvements on it yet. I was actually waiting to release the video so I could read the feedback. And boy, you guys really add a lot to add. Now, I haven't really gone through the comment section completely yet, but I would say maybe like 60% so far. But I have noticed a pattern. A lot of you guys are repeating a lot of the same things. So I did write some of those points down. And basically I'm gonna try to implement these, well, I don't wanna redesign it per se. I mean major overhaul. I don't wanna do that. Maybe we can do some easy tinkering and we can get it to work proper. But guys, if we can't really achieve that, or it will still kind of suck, then I do have an escape plan here. And I think it's actually a pretty good idea. So just let's imagine by the end of the video, this thing is still a placeholder, Mark I. Then my escape plan is that I'm gonna remove the blade altogether. And I'm only gonna have like a grappler. No cutting action, none of that. Just simple excavator grappler. So I just go up to a tree, grab it from somewhere higher up, put it in like a chokehold, I guess, and at the same time cut it from the bottom, ground level, with the chainsaw. Now after that's finished, I can just pick up the tree with the excavator, put it aside into a pile. Now this setup would work best with two people, so one on the excavator and the other with the chainsaw. Then we could go through a lot of these pointless brush piles, just grab onto it, guy cuts it, I lift, stack, next, jump, next. And I think that would work pretty good as well. The only problem is that you would need two people. It kind of makes no sense if you're alone. Luckily though, I have Santa Claus, so whenever he's around, I can do that business with him. But hopefully we don't need to use the escape plan. Hopefully we can actually get it to cut. So let's go over some things which I'm planning to do, and I'm also gonna talk about some other things you guys suggested, but I'm not planning to do. Now the most amount of points goes to the comment which mentioned the blade. And actually there is an issue there. The blade design is a bit off. It's actually 180%. I mean degrees off. Okay, so let's imagine this is like a pipe and I try to cut it like that. But because of the design of the blade, it will not go there. It will actually slide against the blade until the glass like angle of attack is enough to force it that way instead of that way. So currently, if it's cutting from that location, it requires, I'm not sure how many times more power compared to this location. So the further away the tree is from the pivoting point, the more power you need. Right there, I have the maximum amount of power this device will achieve with the cylinder setup I have right now. Now, I did not really think about this for obvious reasons. I was always thinking that, hey, that looks like the best place to cut the tree. But actually, the tree never even reached that far. Most of it either got stuck somewhere here, or it was cutting somewhere there, which is not ideal. So I think the first thing I will probably try to do is redesign the blade, make it into like a scissor. Basically, I'm just gonna cut it flat from there, and then I'm gonna add another piece which will go further out. So the thing can't travel that way. It will kind of remain in this area. Another thing that a lot of you guys said was I need some teeth in order to grab a hold of the cutting piece so it would not slide, I guess. But if I redesign the blade, then I should eliminate that issue. Anyway, I think another suggestion you guys made. Add a blade to the claw, so it would be cutting from both ends, like a scissor. Scissor has two blades. Now, personally, I have not seen that design on any of the shear rams they sell. The blade is always static in the center somewhere and on the bottom side. So I've never seen a blade that has been mounted to the grappler part itself. So I'm not sure I'm gonna do that. Although I completely understand the logic behind it, because it will be cutting from both ends and it's probably gonna help. But I'm not quite sold on that right now. Maybe I will do it, maybe not. We'll see about that. A couple of things here. So the cylinders are too close to the pivoting point, and thus we have low clamping force, I guess. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. The longer your lever is, the more force you have. So if I bring the cylinders like somewhere there, I would have more power at the cutting area. It's well, I totally understand that. However, that does require some amount of work. I'm not sure how much exactly, but I would definitely need to cut all 4 of these walls and add like a piece in the middle to make the cylinders further that way. So I'm not sure I'm gonna do that. It kind of depends how the blade redesign works out, because I think that's all it really needs. If that doesn't help as much as I would like, then we'll do the next thing. A lot of you also said that I should add another cylinder, and I think that's something I can do. I'm not planning to install 2 of them, but a third one in the center, plenty of room for that. It will definitely increase the biting force. I'm not sure if it's 3 times compared to 1 cylinder, or maybe there's some energy lost somewhere in the hydraulic system, but it will definitely increase it. And I was able to find this type of hydraulic distributor, I guess. So this is a 4-way, this thing. So this is a 4-way hydraulic. I'm not really sure what the proper word is there, but you know, we got 3 cylinders which connect up there, and then that goes to the excavator. So hooking up a 3rd cylinder, it's not gonna be such a mess hydraulic hose wise. Totally doable. But hopefully we don't have to do it. Maybe redoing the blade is all it needs. Now there are other things you guys also said. For example, maybe the auxiliary line on the excavator on the Yanmar is low powered. Maybe the pressure is not high enough. Now, I don't have any tools to test that out, but I do have a buddy who works in that field. Maybe we can get him down here and he will do a little test for me. Now, if that's not an option, then I guess I can try to hook it up to the Bobcat and then do like a little comparison. If the Bobcat's hydraulics are able to cut and the Yanmars are not, then that's true. The auxiliary may be low powered on the Yanmar. Now, one thing I did notice on the Yanmar's auxiliary line is that it's super fast. I mean, this claw moves very fast. So that actually may be true. There's a lot of flow, but not a lot of pressure. Maybe it's just configured like that. I'm not sure. And some of you also said that, hey, bolt or zip tie a chainsaw down there somewhere and let that part do the cutting. Now that is something I'm not planning to do. So sorry guys, but I just don't wanna install a chainsaw on this thing. Honestly, I don't really see any room even, because the bottom needs to hug the ground, right? If I want to cut as close as possible to the ground. So I can't install anything at the bottom. The chainsaw has to be somewhere inside the housing, I guess. I don't see that happening. So I don't want to do that. And I want to make sure it cuts with the blade. With the hydraulics, I mean, sorry. And if things just don't work out, then I guess we have a grappler. Excavator mounted grappler, which also works, I guess. But let's just kind of get to work. Let's start off with the blade. Let's do a redesign on that and take it from there. I want to see, maybe I can get it on the welding table, but if that doesn't work out, then I guess we can work on it here as well. Freaking plot holes, man. I mean buttholes. Need a new concrete floor. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna lift it on the table, but I can work from here as well. Should be fine. I think I don't need to remove the old plate so much. Maybe like a little chunk only. Push the tree right against the blade rather than sliding it along the blade. Maybe a bit more aggressive. So I'm gonna remove a little chunk from there and then weld a new piece like that. The little chunk I'm removing is to give me like the maximum power next to the pin, right next to the pin. Those are for the, well, when I wanna cut round stock, for example. Stuff like that. Yeah, I think that should work. Maybe. I know I say that a lot, but hey, I think that should work. There we go, at least one more. Okay, this should work. I think at least it's better. Put like a thing there and immediately starts pushing it against the blade. Before it would just ride along the blade until it finally started pushing. Need to weld the other side though. I'm not sure which is a better option, either to take it outside or try to flip it on the table. I don't think I can do it though. You know, this thing probably weighs like 150 kilos at least. Maybe even 200. Whoa. What do you think is stronger? Running straight beats right next to each other or going zigzag mode? I think that's better, right? Although I'm pretty sure that's not gonna break as well. Now if you're wondering about the holes, then those came from the stupid nuclear welder over there. That's just a hunk of junk. It doesn't weld. The Zab does a little bit better job. And I want to install some reinforcements to the setup as well. Couple of plates. Now, I do have a little bit of room. The bottom. I got that thing over there and I got that thing over there, so I can definitely add something here as well.
Ma koristasin seal eile. Ma koristasin seal eile.
Sina koristasid eile või?
Jah.
Ma ei tea.
Let's make sure that the blade does not bend.
Definitely add some deflection points into the mix. There's actually one more plus situation with the new blade. You know, the old blade was 20 millimeters thick. The new one is 10 millimeters. So it's probably like a lot easier to push through, right? I just got to give it like a good sharp edge. And I'm thinking maybe like this far maximum. I don't need to do that, that's pointless. The only sucky thing is that this is a 355 steel. But you know, if the edge eventually wears down, then I can always give it a new edge with the stick welder over there. Maybe use some type of a hardened rod to make a really strong edge. But yeah, I'm gonna try to give it a nice edge, and then we can actually go test this thing out.
This should also be a fun part.
You know how it is. A little bit of paint will add some of those camouflage points. Those are much needed points. But you know, I think this should work out pretty good. I can force a tree or a branch into that pocket and it will just directly push it against the blade. I don't think it's gonna slide upwards. It should work. But no, I guess we'll see. Just got to test it out. Maybe I don't even need to do anything else. Maybe this is all it needed. So yeah, let's go test it out then. What are we waiting for? I'm almost as excited as when I built this thing. But then the excitement was short-lived because everything kind of went to hell. Hopefully not the case this time.
Tule see maapind siin nii loodist väljas. Persse.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm very excited. No, you can't bite. You can't bite that much material. Yeah. But Well, it definitely improved the situation, but it's not quite there yet. Plus that's a mess. I can't quite cut it at the base level. That's a mess. I'm gonna try to jump a few of these, but I think I need to do something extra to it as well. Just redesigning the blade was not enough, clearly. But let's see how some of this stuff cuts. Are you okay? I'm not doing this on purpose. It's cutting that stuff pretty easily. I wonder if it can cut that. Wow. This is a sure. Probably a bit overdone. The funny thing is that it can cut this pretty easily, but it can't deal with those little dirts over there. Maybe because they're clumped together and this is an individual piece, probably. But one thing's for sure, the blade design definitely has improved the situation. No doubt there. You know, maybe I need to... Maybe I should try to build a shim or something between the glass and the blade, so the gap would be as minimal as possible. Right now something is still dragging in between the two. Might take a look at that as well, but I'm gonna try to cut some of these pieces a bit more down. Not sure, but that's probably impossible. That's not gonna do anything. Put you guys inside the housing. Should be a pretty cool view, hopefully. You guys okay? Blimey, what a bastard. Look at that. This type of tree is made out of concrete or something worse. Yeah, technically I would say it's like 80% at the moment. If you can bite something like that down, I'm totally satisfied with that. But yeah, it's not quite there yet. It's kind of there, but not quite there. I think we can do the next thing. Let's try to. I'm currently thinking either install a dirt cylinder or maybe make the arms, the cylinder arms, a bit further away from the pivoting point. I'm kind of between those two at the moment. I'm not sure which one is easier. So, I've been kind of going back and forth on the two possible ideas. Either install a dirt cylinder or make the fingers for the cylinders extend out a bit more in order to get a bit more mechanical advantage, you know. I think the second option is a bit less work. All I really need to do is just cut from there, also up here, and then add a piece in between. This will bring that area further out. And I only need to remove that chunk. That will probably get in the way, most likely. And maybe also need to make the bottom cut a bit more deeper, because if the cylinder moves this way, then the hoses go that way. Now the only sucky thing is that currently the thing is designed in a way that if I make that upgrade, then the claw won't close fully. Right now, if the cylinder makes its full travel, the claw is nicely tucked in there. But if I don't think this is doable. Even if I took the cylinder away from the pivoting point this much, then that means the claw will bottom out in this location. Obviously I can't clamp anything if there's so much space. I mean, I would be okay with something like this probably. This could be enough space to clamp onto stuff. Siia tooks. Kas sellest mingit torku oleks? Tuleks nagu siin all vaata. Yeah, that's just actually crazy. Even if I wanted to take this much, I'm gonna have such a gap. The cylinders are gonna bottom out with such a gap. I think adding the dirt cylinder is an easier option now after I realized this. It's just not a good trade-off, you know. I only add this much leverage to that end, but at the same time I'm gonna have such a gap at the biting area. It's not a good trade. Wish I had longer cylinders. Well, actually I do have something, but I have these forklift cylinders. These things are really long. It was like almost 2 meters. Man, those things would give me some insane mechanical advantage, but but clearly these are too long and not practical. Yeah, currently it seems like adding a dirt cylinder seems more and more likely. I could try to maybe go a bit that way, but I think it's gonna have the opposite effect when trying to open it. Yeah, then the thing will be basically like that, and it makes this area even smaller. Right now I have very nice open with the blade. Openness with the blade, I mean. So changing the position of the ears or fingers, I think that's not an option, because there are just too many trade-offs. I'm gonna get more mechanical advantage when cutting the things, but at the same time I'm losing other things. Don't scratch my cylinder. Well, honestly, I'm actually very close at the moment. Strength-wise, I would say maybe like 80%. Individual pieces, this thing can cut pretty well, but clumps of crap, it won't be able to fit that clump between the blade. But the individual pieces, as you saw, this thing cuts pretty well, honestly. I think my only option right now is to install a dirt cylinder. Yeah, I think let's do that. Let's do a dirt cylinder setup. Yeah, there's definitely enough room. Put it in the middle, or maybe it's better if it's close to that one because of the cutting action which is on that side. I think it doesn't matter that much. Middle would look a bit better. Now mostly I think I can keep the back plate in place and I don't need to cut that off. But I need to modify it slightly. Deal with this end later. I think I got it from there, then maybe I have enough room. I need to remove the inner pipe as well, so I could install new shoes there. Now some of you guys taught me a little trick when using hole saws, so that the chips would not clog the hole saw teeth. So basically make the pilot hole first, obviously, and once you start drilling the bigger hole, then you need to do something. Not part of the plan, by the way. This is some witchcraft crap. No, väga hea, mul oligi vaja see rott ära vahetada. Basically make like a small cut. Oh. Also make sure nothing dances around, but make like a small cut in the ring, and then drill a little hole there. Something like that. Don't forget the looby doob. Kus õll on? Sinna. 10 liitrit õli siin vedeleb põranda peal. Aga puurimisõli ei ole. Kõik on otsas. Tüüpiline. Usually at this time I already have the air gun nearby to blow the chips out. That thing is going like a champ. Oh, all the way through now. Look at that. Dude, it actually works. That actually works pretty good. Actually, I shouldn't do that. Got a bunch of death threats last time I did that. Look at that. It was pretty effortless. There's that extra step though, changing out the bit 2 times. 3 times for moi. But I think it's worth it. What if I make 2 holes though? Would I benefit from that? Let's try. Maybe we end up making 10 holes and we don't need to use the hole saw at all. By the way, one of the holes I did not fully drill through, so it acts like a reservoir for oil, right? I think that's a benefit, definitely. All the way through. Did not clean the chips out even once. Wow. That actually works pretty good. I would have never thought about this. Then again, I'm a guy who used caliper to punch out the cores. So don't expect much from me, okay? .5, that's... Yeah, and Spence doing some complex math. Basically, I'm screwed. Is that center somewhere? I think it now is. Nej, jag har inte muffin. I have to make these pins shorter as well, they're gonna get in the way. Well, at least one side got melted up pretty well. I just can't weld it from there. I don't know. You can't see anything. Yeah, that's probably a bunch of vomit down there. Well, do you want to look? Anyway, I think that takes care of the inward side. Personally, I think this was the hardest part. The red side should be a lot easier.
Kuratella. Arvan, että panemme tuolle samoseen.
Säkra jo. What a catastrophic three-way this is gonna be, man. Just look at this thing. What in the actual hell? Just imagine 3 cylinders. It's gonna look super weird. Scratch that, man. It's even gonna look weirder than that. Now, I'm not really sure what the biting force of this thing will be once fully assembled. But I'm pretty sure some of you can actually calculate that for me. So I'm gonna have 3 cylinders. All of them are gonna be the same make and model. The stock is gonna be 25 millimeters. So technically, if there's 3 of them, I should have something similar as a single 75 millimeter cylinder, right? It's probably a bit lower. I'm sure some energy is lost somewhere in the system. But, you know, considering I was pretty happy strength-wise with 2 cylinders, then with 3, probably a bit too much even. You know, I'm thinking with the extra hydraulic forces I have now, which are in play, maybe that ear is not strong enough anymore. I mean, technically it's only like 10 millimeters, and so maybe the thing is gonna crack up somewhere there, for example. That seems like a weak spot now. So I'm gonna draw like a plate, much like I have on that side, and try to reinforce this ear up a bit. Something simple. Something simple and elegant. Yeah, hopefully that's gonna hold everything together. Yeah, I'm pretty sure actually with the extra hydraulic power that this thing has now, that was most likely a weak spot. Now, I did not notice it bending or experiencing any excessive stress when I was using the thing with just 2 cylinders. But better safe than sorry, right? At least right now it has some extra support there. I actually want to add more reinforcements. I want to reinforce the bottom up as well. I got to weld the area down there also. And yeah, actually a couple of more reinforcements here and there that I came up with. But first I think I'm gonna configure the back plate. So need to just make sure that nothing gets in the way of the third cylinder. Võta haamar, kuradi pede raisk noh. See ei ole vaja. There is a little boo-boo here. I just now noticed that. This thing is sitting too high. And the cylinder will start grinding against that part. No, this is a serious problem. I could install the cylinder a bit crooked like that, then it won't come into contact, but I think it would be better if the cylinder was straight, like the other two are. So I need to bring that plate lower, not a lot, maybe like 5 millimeters lower, or actually a bit more, maybe about 10. Okay, I haven't welded the other side yet, but still getting this piece out is just gonna be a bit problematic. Maybe I can do it with the plasma cutter. It's a maybe though. What? Did I just make fire with a crowbar? Oh, there we go. That plasma cutter was quite useful in this scenario. I think something's moving. Yes. What? What a catastrophic mess. Dude, this little GUT 50 did its job. Pretty well, I might add. And that is a really stupid location to remove a weld. And you can't get an angle grinder in there, you can't jigsaw that away. I think the only options you have is either a plasma cutter or a oxy torch. And if there are more options, then throw them down in the comments section. I would like to know more about that. But yeah, I'm gonna weld this piece back now. This time, hopefully, on a right spot, so it would not interfere with the piston rod. Okay, well that's pretty center. Looks pretty good. Just put some washers up there and down there to make sure the stock is in the center. Could have prevented this, definitely. If only I did some measuring before welding. Yeah, right. I'm pretty sure something else went to hell now. I think we're good. Okay guys, so from now on out, it's mostly finished. But I do want to add some reinforcements here and there. So I wanna reinforce the other ear on the other side, definitely. Maybe add some extra plating for the blade, so that does not bend. On the claw itself, I think it's fine mostly. I just need to weld the bottom side of these ears. But other than that, I think it should be pretty solid. Just gonna focus a bit on reinforcements, and then we can do another test. Guys, look at that hunk of mess. Wow. Guy looks like Thanos. You know, his chin. That part. Really a ugly dude. But jokes aside, I think on our spare time we can use this as a rock crusher. The jaw. Okay guys, I had one more. I'm all out now. But dude, this should definitely add some strength to the blade. Make sure that does not bend away. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this ear is secure also now. Now, in addition to welding that mess from the other end, I added a little piece to the claw as well. Now this was because when I was testing it out previously, then Yeah, I noticed that some of the tree fibers still got stuck between the claw and the blade. And I figured it's probably good if the gap is extremely minimal, so it can cut rather than crush the wood through that blade. But dude, after adding all these plates, actually the entire thing warped. And I pretty much have the same gap I had before. Maybe it's a bit less. I'm not sure how much that is. Looks like about 4 millimeters. It's a bit less there, where most of the cutting will be taking place. So I would say maybe, from there you can see almost no gap whatsoever, less than 1 millimeter. But here at the other end we're looking at maybe 3, 4. So this blade actually warped slightly after all that welding. And while I was welding those two pieces, this metal cracks all over the place. So the entire thing actually warped to some degree. But I don't think that's a problem, honestly. Should be a wrecking ball now. If it wasn't before, I mean. Yeah, this thing is just seriously overbuilt, I think. But I think it's worth it. This thing definitely is worth it. Unless me adding the third cylinder is gonna screw something up, then this thing definitely is worth it. Because actually I was pretty satisfied with the 2-cylinder setup already. Hopefully nothing went to hell. Now, before I take it outside and do some further testing, I figured we should change the name. And actually I do have a pretty good name for it. So let's change the name. No guys, it's not placeholder Mark II. That was never the plan. Can you guess it so far? I think not, but it's very obvious. I mean, it's so obvious. 3-some. Because it has 3 cylinders. I think I misspelled it a bit, but I hope you get the picture. It's just so obvious. What else are you gonna name it? The thing? No. 3-some. That works a lot better. Protect what's important. What a block of steel. Guys, I'm not sure if this is a problem or maybe it's even good, but the claw is slightly touching the blade. Hear that? It's like slightly feathering against the blade. No, I don't think it's an issue. The glass just has a bit of up and down play. Like, yeah, maybe I could put like a washer on the bottom pin, but I don't think that's an issue that I need to worry about right now. Let's put cylinders back. Need to make some locking options for the pins as well, and then we can go cut some stuff. Dude. Everything's so sloppy and so tight at the same time. It makes no sense. Oh man. Cylinder has some damage. Look at that. Wasn't me. It's a used cylinder. But maybe it's fine. Kolm senti täpselt. Kaks pool, ma ei tea. Kolm veits palju, pa kaks. Kuradi invalid oled või? Siis selle taamriga välja kukud iseenesest. Mingi kuradi rott, noh. Holy hell. You guys just have to see this crap. Look at that. What is that? Dude, that looks so good. Looks a lot cooler with 3 cylinders. Look at that. Man, what a catastrophic mess. What a catastrophic mess. But you know, in other news, I think bin design is actually pretty genius. You got that center bin over there with the guy just kind of sits there in the center, and the 2 outer bins I will need to lock down so everything nicely stays in its place. Now, probably a better solution would be to have like a 1 single long bin, but you know, I can't really do that because I screwed something up when I built this thing, and the holes just don't match up. I mean, there is No, yeah, quite a difference there. At least the two bottom holes nicely match up. The third one just is somewhere else for some reason. But I think it's not gonna bother with the movement or the cylinders. It should still uniformly move nicely. Now this is just a backup solution. It should work as well. Just gotta make like a simple lock threading so the pin would not travel outwards. Put like a plate there. Another plate there. And weld that crap together. Do like a little hole dude over there. A bit smaller hole dude over there. Don't forget Looby Doob, guys. Mr. Trissom needs it badly. Oh, okay. This is the highlight of the video, by the way. I think that should work. Now, unless that bolt decides to leave the equation. Maybe we should put some Loctite there. But then again... Sorry guys, I had no good joke there, so I guess I'm Loctiting it away. Guys, I just wanted to show you this drill bit. That this thing can really drill. Dude. What a guy. Oh man. Yeah. I have to put that later. I don't have any room at the moment. Now, as for the hydraulic setup with 3 cylinders, now I was hoping to go and use that thing, but honestly, I think it's not the right choice, and I should do something like that instead. Put like a thing in the middle. Something like that. There I have my 1, 2, 3, 4 outputs. Now this thing will achieve the same thing, but I think it's not for hydraulics. It feels very lightweight, compared to that. Well, actually, they're both about the same weight, but this should be heavier. And this is steel, but this is cast. I'm not sure what material this is. Probably some type of composite. And it has no magnetic attraction. That thing sticks to that thing. That thing does not. So I asked the store, is this hydraulic rated? Dude, they couldn't even tell me. Basically, they have no idea what they're selling, which is very normal, I guess. So just in case, I'm gonna go with that setup. That's at least a safer option. Maybe this will explode. You never know. But anyway, I'm gonna try to set up the setup quickly. Hopefully, it's not gonna look too weird. Yeah, I would say actually looks pretty good. All things considered. And with this setup, you can actually just keep going. Add more cylinders. As many as you would need. Yeah. But let's go see. Maybe it will explode. You just have to make sure nothing gets in the way. One final checkup. Så är det inte många. I think we're clear. Nothing's grinding against anything. Should be okay. Dude, that thing just looks so weird with 3 cylinders. I'm betting I can fit a 4th there as well. But man, no way I'm gonna do that. So technically, we should have something similar as to a single cylinder setup, which is 75mm thick. I mean, that's pretty decent size, right? I think it's gonna work out. Well, either it's gonna work out or something is gonna break because of the extra hydraulic force we have now. Technically, I don't think anything's gonna break, considering all the reinforcements I added. But we never know. One thing's for sure, that looks pretty dope. Let's go got some dandelions. Balls, man. This thing is heavy. Holy crack balls, man, look at that. Yeah, adding that third cylinder definitely upped the power. Definitely, it could not bite down that stuff at all. I think this was worth it. Yeah, let's go play around a bit there. Yeah, I'm kind of curious if it can maybe bite this down now. Couldn't before. I try to find a good spot. Meow! Everything is crap inside the lighthouse. Worked before. You okay? Yeah. Think I just came. I mean, I think I'm just in love. Wait, what? I think I'm in love. Look at that. It's actually working as intended now. Synapses. Come on, baby. There we go. Yeah, I think this, I'm gonna like this tool, definitely. It's gonna be a very useful tool, because I do have a lot of crap like this, and I don't want to make firewood out of this garbage, so I'm just gonna took it to my roadside pile, keep building that up nicely. And yeah, this is gonna be a very helpful hand. And the blade redesign definitely helped. I would say that maybe like, yeah, about 80% satisfied, but I think that's third cylinder gave me that 100%. This thing can definitely do 150 now, because that's pretty much 150 there. And you know, considering it bite that, and then the other one was much further away, but it was still able to kind of munch it up, then that's actually pretty decent, I guess. So mostly I'm gonna aim to cut individual pieces with this thing, because that's what it's designed for. Now if you try to cut multiple pieces, like one might be there, but the other one is somewhere here, so that's gonna interfere with the force. But yeah, I think totally worth it building this thing. And by the way, I did not mention this when I built it, how much I actually spent on it. So initially when I built this thing, I think I spent like $150 out of pocket. Now all the steel was leftovers from my other projects. Got the cylinders for free. The only thing I had to buy was the hoses. Everything else just kind of came out of my own stock. You know, and in this video I only basically had to buy 2 hoses and 2 these sections plus those 2. So maybe like $15, something like that. But you know, I'm gonna just end it with this note before the thing breaks. Then I have to fix it. At least right now it's a good day. Everything kind of works pretty well. Before I wrap it up though, I'm gonna clean up this mess because I can't leave it like this. So let's go wake up the other tool that I built and let's try to carry this garbage to the roadside pile. It's rock and roll. See how long that took, guys. creating like a small pile by hand. Yeah, in the same amounts of time I could have like shear rammed about 20 trees down and nicely stack it. But it's fine. I'm too fat anyway, I need to move. Before I wrap this up, the supermom was pruning some berry bushes, and I offered to help with the cleanup. It should be pretty easy. Plus I think the grappler will be useful there. You know, she's been at it the entire day almost. Dude, I should have brought my little scissors here. Would have been done in a half time. But yeah, as for this one, I'm gonna wrap it up now. So, see you in the next one. Bye.